This is a Thunder Game Report.
Hi, I'm Randy Renner. Thunder and the Denver Nuggets about to get things started here at Chesapeake Energy Arena. Just a couple of minutes ago, we had a chance to talk with both Thunder head coach Scott Brooks and the Nuggets' new coach, Brian Shaw.
A good group of guys that are still committed to keep getting better, and we have a good team, and I'm looking forward to coaching them throughout the year.
What do you want to see out of your guys tonight, Sean?
Just it's good to be back home and play in front of our crowd. So I think our players are going to be excited. It's the first game back, so I think they're definitely going to play with some excitement, and they've been competing the last few days against each other. But I want to see guys keep improving. We have some lineups that we have to continue to explore and look at going into the first game.
You haven't played Ryan Gomes the first two games. What plan on playing him tonight?
Probably not tonight. Next game. What's
the holdup with him?
Just rotations. You can't play 16 guys. I just try to figure out. It's the balancing of playing guys that are on the team, guys that are making a team, guys that are trying to find minutes. And, we all know what Kevin Durant does. We know what Nick does and Serge and Vice, but they still have to play to get in game shape. But you still have to figure out ways to play guys that are trying to make the team. But it's just a rotation. Perry has gotten some games early. I'm trying to get everybody a game. But I do evaluate them every day in practice. And the 20 to 25 minutes that the guys get during the games is part of the evaluation. So we definitely evaluated, or will continue to evaluate, Ryan Gomes' impact and what he can bring to our team.
What does he bring? Can you just give us a scouting report on
You know what he does? He brings. He's one of the guys that he's like a glue guy. He brings in some. He knows how to play. He knows where to be, and that's something that has taken time to get, and that comes through experience. But he can make shots. He knows the rotations. He's had some great experiences in this league. But there's minutes and there's a spot or two that we're going to continue to look at.
Have you been in his shoes? Can you sort of empathize with what he's going
Yeah, my career was every year, but a few years. I was in a lot of make good contracts, but that's part of being in the NBA. It's a tough league to make. And once you make it, it's tough to stick. And once you stick, it's tough to play. And once you play, it's tough to start. And then it's tough to be an all-star, and it's tough to be a champion. There's none of the steps are easy, and to make it, we have a few guys on this team that are fighting every day in practice to make it, and I'm going to try my best to give them some quality game time, but I also have to factor in what's best for our team moving forward, and I have to get our guys that are going to play first game some minutes, while I also evaluate some of the lineups that we need to adjust and make changes to.
Could this team without Russ be better than last year's team without Russ?
I would think that we've matured. Over the summer we've gotten better as a group. When we lost, first of all, we lost to a very good team. They went to the conference finals. They won, I don't know how many games they ended up winning last year, 56, 58 games. It's not like we beat a team we lost to a team that was struggling.
I didn't mean to imply you weren't a good team. I'm just saying, could you be better than?
I think we've improved. If it's sometimes you judge it on wins and losses, but sometimes you can't. And I think that remains to be seen how many games we will be playing without Russell. But I think I like what our guys have done so far in the early parts of training camp. We've put in a few new things offensively that I think is going to help us, and when Russell does get back with us, it's going to continue to help us. We're not just changing things up because we're without Russell. We're changing things up because we want to keep pushing the envelope of growth and getting better as a team.
I know that you guys are mostly going to focus on yourselves tonight in the evaluation process, but what kind of challenges does Denver present that might be different than last year?
Well, Denver's one of the best teams in the league last year. They won high 50s. They're a good team. They're a talented team. They play a style of play that's hard to guard in a regular season game because you don't have a lot of time to prepare for their speed. But we have a good opportunity tonight to be tested. It's not going to be an easy test. I know they played last night, but they're a talented team. They're a deep team. And I know Coach Shaw, he's a good guy, good coach, and he's going to get the team playing well. But we still have steps that we have to get better at. Every coach wants to be able to say they're at this level at this time, but it takes a day-by-day approach to get to the level that you want to get to, and we're still 2 weeks into training camp.
Hasheem start tonight?
Hasheem starts tonight. Yes, he's going to start tonight.
And the rest will be your normal. Hurts finger, and how long do you think he's going to be out?
Yeah, he had a good work today on the court. We'll see how he responds, and I'm assuming tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to say this 100%, but I have a good feeling he'll be on the court tomorrow practicing.
Do you feel like backup center is your biggest remaining position battle still in preseason and training camp?
Yeah, I mean, there's some spots, there's some minutes. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate. We've had not a lot of injuries, and so I know a lot of times you guys might see the same rotations out there, but there's not a lot of. We've had a lot of injuries, so knock on, wood that continues. But there's minutes to be had at the center spot, yes, and there's minutes to be had behind Kevin. Not a lot of minutes, but there's some minutes. Whether Tabo switches or goes over to play some backup three, or we bring in a new player into that spot. But it's hard to get minutes when you're on a good team, no matter. It's just hard to get minutes.
Scott, is it going to be a challenge early in the season scouting certain teams? 13 new head coaches, 9 brand new head coaches, so there's going to be hard to kind of figure out patterns and templates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a challenge for all the teams. It's not like we're only teams they're going to be playing against. The 13 head coaches, not like we're going to play the first 13 games against them. So when we play them and see them play, we'll be up to par with what they do. But like every team, they're going to add things throughout the season. They might add things the night before you play them that you cannot scout. And that's some of the things that you deal with as a staff and figure it out as a team on the fly, make those decisions during timeouts, during halftime.
Scott, do you want Serge to have back-to-the-basket repertoire to his offensive game?
I think it's something that he has worked on. It's something that it can add to it. But I think with Serge, and with all of our players, you always try to go with the highest percentage shot. And throughout the league, the back-to-the-basket shot, that 6-foot shot, your back-to-the-basket is not the highest percentage shot. And with Serge, he shoots his 17, 18-footer. I think he's 53, 54%, if my memory is correct. But that is a higher percentage shot than most players that shoot back to the basket. There's not a lot of the defense collapses on you, and you don't get a lot of clean looks there. But he's definitely worked on it. Sometimes some matchups are going to be advantageous, so we will explore that. But I think he has to just continue to sprinkle in his offensive game, his basketball IQ, and I think it has over the last going in 5 years with us.
So he's shooting 57%. Just because he's closer to the basket doesn't necessarily mean he'd shoot a higher percentage.
No, I mean, I think right now his best shot, percentage-wise, is right off the block, facing up, shooting the face-up shot instead of the back to the basket. That was just from the last 3 years. Has that changed over the summer? That remains to be seen. But I know hopefully he continues to shoot at the clip that he has the last few years. Last year was probably one of the best in the league at 17, 18 feet.
Your other 4 stars stay the same, right?
Reggie, Tabo, KD, Serge, and Hash. Yep.
Do you have specific minutes? I mean, you have preseason games so you can sort of adhere to schedule. Are you going to stick to that? Is there room to change that during the game?
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to have some type of game plan going into it. We have a game plan going into it, and then it's going to change how the game's going, how it will. I mean, it can change, but I like to, especially in the preseason, stick with what we have going into the game.
Can you give me an idea, like minutes for Durant or Reggie or any of those guys that you have specific?
every minute. KD's going to come out the 9:39 minute mark.
How many are you expecting?
And then,
I don't know. That's a little excessive, you know, I mean, is he gonna play 25 minutes, he can play 40 minutes, that sort of thing, or somewhere in between?
25 to 30 minutes.
Perfect, thank you for that answer.
One more question? Anybody? Last
Is
one.
there any plan to manage their minutes early in the season as the season goes on, just because you have to play a full season in a while?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think, I don't know if we actually manage it. It's just the game's gonna dictate how many minutes. But he's in incredible shape, and he has the respect of his teammates. So, and we all know his minutes out there are 100% for the team and a lot of effort, and he has a lot to offer with all of his experiences. But I'm looking forward to managing all the guys every year, but it's this year no different from all the other years.
Thanks, Coach.
We're still trying to play with pace, but more emphasis on getting the ball inside to our bigs.
How has Indiana like and the Laker like in terms of what you're doing in the half court?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's closer to Indiana. I mean, in Indiana, actually, it's a big similarity in terms of that team in Indiana didn't have any superstars on the team. It was a true team, you know, and everybody had to contribute, you know, night in and night out. We had to be the team that played the hardest, that got the loose balls and did all the little things. This team is pretty much constructed in the same way. You know, no superstar. You know, everybody having to contribute, regardless of who we play. We have to be the team that plays the hardest and gets the loose balls. So, much more similar to that Indiana team.
How has the process of everybody getting used to everybody gone? You and your staff, the players that were with the Nuggets last year, the new players this year?
It's coming along. You know, I'm pleased with the progress. You know, last night actually was the first time that I walked onto the Nugget floor from the locker room, and I actually walked the wrong way going to our bench. So you know,
headed to the visitors' locker room.
So I have to get used to, you know, certain things as well. But I think the guys are going in the right direction and starting to get the terminology and an understanding for what I want from them.
When you play a good team like the Thunder that's talented, is it a good measuring stick to see where you guys stand early in the season?
Always. You know, and whether, you know, last night we played the Spurs. They didn't play their big three. But I told our guys it's still an opportunity for them, regardless of who they throw out there on the floor. It's an opportunity for us to get better. You know, this is a team that, you know, has been picked, has been a contender for the championship the last couple of years. And so it's always a good measuring stick to see how you size up against, you know, especially one of the best players in the league.
I think they're holding rust.
So there's Brian Shaw of the Nuggets and, of course, Scotty Brooks of the Thunder. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up on tonight's game, plus post-game comments from Coach Brooks and some of the players. So stay with us right here on ThunderGameReport.com.